Hello, happy Monday. It's becoming a thing in my Facebook lives and things. I just wish people happy something. I don't know, maybe I'm doing it to test if I still know what time or what date it is. Anyways, maybe you have also lost track of time. And what I wanted to talk about today is actually how weird everything has become. Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't, but probably you have. That past few weeks, things have just been incredibly strange and different in a way, but then at the same way not. And you might have had interesting things occur. I definitely have, and I've also heard from a lot of people that there's all this kind of weird stuff, like weird things with bodies. I personally have had this thing, and also have heard from many people that you seem to sort of like constantly hurt your body, like a little bit. Like one day I just hit my toe on something, and then it got this cut on it, and that doesn't really happen to me. I tend to not really hurt my body like that. And all these weird bruises, or just a little cut here and another there, and you're like, what is going on, and where does all of this come from? And I was just talking with my friend Annelie, and she was also saying that her daughter also has been just hitting herself in different things, and just weirdly, and that she just hit herself on a tree and all kinds of weird stuff like that. And then I was kind of well, interesting, times are weird, something is changing with bodies and how we can be with our bodies. But then we also had an Access staff meeting the other day, and there was just one lady talking there how she had been for the past few weeks, she'd had this sort of paranoia, and this just total what's going on? Is somebody come and kidnap me? And all this kind of crazy thoughts or ideas. And of course, you can use the basic Access tools of who does this belong to, and those can create change with that. But then the question that Gary actually gave her was that, what communication are you having that you're not acknowledging? And that was whoa, yeah. So all of that, maybe you've had weird ideas in your head, weird thoughts, maybe weird stuff with your body. What communication is that you're not acknowledging? Just pausing for that for a moment. And that was also the question that my friend had asked to her daughter when she ran into a tree. Was the tree communicating something with you or to you? And when you are hitting your body into things, what communication is that? What if it's not something that's wrong? What if nothing is really wrong or a problem at all? At all. That's what's been showing up a lot for me, that I can't really make things into problems anymore so much. It's more this is different. Definitely different. What is this? And it can be frustrating, because for example, I haven't really been able to grasp anything and get oh, this is this, yeah, of course, yay. It's just been this is something, I have no clue what it is. But not making it wrong and not making it into I guess it's about not trying to return into the reality that we had before, because that's kind of gone, And maybe you have noticed that things don't work the same way they did. You cannot really do things the same way as you did before, because it just doesn't seem to work. Even those things that you maybe enjoyed before, you liked before, or that were easy for you, and now you're how do you do this? What if that's not wrong? What if that is a different reality showing up? So what different reality is showing up, and how is that different reality communicating with you, giving you information and showing you hey, I'm here, this is where you can find me, this is what's possible now. Maybe it's that you hit your toe on something, or whatever it is that's going on for you. What if none of it is wrong? And what if you really ask with everything, what communication is this? What awareness is this? What can I perceive with this? And then the next question is, and how can I use it to my advantage? And all of this thing, like when we've really changed into a different reality or different future maybe, or as we sometimes talk in Access, change to a different track. And the thing with like changing tracks is like, you know, like if you're on a train and the train is going to a certain direction, and then when you take a different track, this is actually an example that somebody showed somewhere, and I don't remember where, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody showed this just recently. Like if you imagine that you're on this train, there's another train, and you're going to this direction, and then you jump on another train that goes on another track. And this one, like at first, it looks like you're going the same way. Like these trains are just going parallel. They look like they're going the same way, and you have about the same view. But the more they like go to their own different tracks, they start turning into totally different directions, and you start having a totally different view. But when you're at the first stages of a different track, it looks kind of the same, but it's not the same, and it doesn't look like totally the same. That's why you get super weird. You're like, wait a second, what's going on? And I thought that we were going here, but it doesn't seem like we are, and I cannot choose the same things as I was choosing before, because you don't acknowledge that you're actually on this different track that is going to a totally different way. So where are you going now that you have not acknowledged? And what future are you headed towards to that you maybe have been asking for, but you didn't remember that you asked for? What would it take for you to remember it now? I know I've had like other weird things too. Like one thing is like memory wasn't super easy before either, especially after starting with Access. But now, like, I just try to listen to an audiobook, and after like the person who was reading the audiobook got to the end of the sentence, I had forgotten what the beginning of the sentence was. So trying to listen to the audiobook, and it was like a story. It was not an Access book, it was a story. I couldn't, like after 3 sentences, I was totally lost. I had no clue what was going on, because I couldn't remember what was the beginning and what was said in the first sentence, and then there's the third sentence. I'm like, I don't really understand. What does this have to do with anything? So I know that sounds a little funny, but if you have like weird stuff going on like that, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And like for me, because I've always been like very like intelligent and smart and you know all that, and then having something like that occur where I cannot follow an audiobook of a story was a little like, what? And you know, then I was just like, oh well, something is really changing. And what if like, because I was like, oh my god, I have to give up like all these things that I used to enjoy, like books and stories and all of that. I was like, well, maybe there is something greater coming. So if those things that you have really enjoyed, that you really like, if they don't work for you anymore, if they're no longer fun for you, what if that doesn't mean that now you lost your greatest, you know, enjoyment? But what if it means that there is something else coming? There is something greater coming, and you're just getting prepared for that. What is the future that you're getting prepared for that you don't even know that you're getting prepared for? And the other thing with this, like how this new future, new reality is, it's communicating to us in all kinds of different ways. And I love that Timian is saying that. I didn't even see the whole message, but like you're sending voice messages to somebody and then you don't remember, like, because I had exactly this, I don't see the end of it, but I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, because what happened to me, not just once but many times, is that I sent an audio message to somebody. They reply with an audio message, and it could be like immediate, like they reply immediately. I listen to their audio message, I'm like, I wonder what they are like replying to, and I have to actually listen to my own previous audio message just a few moments ago to know what they are replying to, because I already forgot about it. So how many things are really becoming irrelevant, and we try to hold on to them, and we try to like, you know, send an audio message to somebody telling that this is relevant, and then it has lost its relevance and significance already like 2 seconds later. It's definitely a different reality that is showing up for us. What was I talking about? Oh, the communication. Yes. So when things communicate to us in the new future, and the new reality that we're stepping into, or the different bodies that we're stepping into having, the way that our bodies are changing and how they are communicating, it's different. Like, it's not the same as talking with like with a friend, with your words and like saying it out loud. It's very, very different communication, and we are not really taught in this reality how to communicate with things that don't speak with words. And what if you were not looking for communication as a way of words and as like talking, speaking, but as a way of receiving information? So what kind of communication can you then have? And that's like one of the things that some of us who have been on this like exploration into the world of like entities, energies, and being aware of energies that don't really have words, like we might have maybe a little bit more ease with that. And if you have not like done a Toxic Entities class or an X-Men class, this is the time for those classes. Like whatever is coming, whatever is showing up, those classes have the tools for having ease with all of this and having ease with that totally different communication and receiving information that you can use to your advantage, so that you don't have to be like, oh my god, I like hurt my toe, I'm totally paranoid, what's happening? But you can actually be present with that and really go like, oh, what information is this actually? And because it, like the future that we're headed towards has never existed before, so you don't really know what it's like, and the communication and the information that you are going to be receiving from there, it's not like, it doesn't match any reference point that you have. It won't be the same as what you've seen before, and it definitely will not use the same words as what you're used to using. So it's definitely wild times. We're really entering that wild adventure of infinite possibilities. And one question that I always really like to ask, because I know that people ask like, what else is possible? Like, it's a great question. What else is possible? And then at some point people started asking like, what else is possible beyond this reality? What I have always been asking, that I realized that maybe not everybody has been asking for, is what else is possible beyond any known reality? Anything that we have ever known, what's possible beyond that? What is there in those lands, in those realms, in those universes that we've never explored before? Yeah. And sometimes I like to like look at the times when we started exploring the earth more and going like, you know, going to the new continent, whatever that was called, like when Europeans went to America and they had no clue what's there. And you see all this stuff and you see all these like animals and all the nature and everything you've never seen before. And how, like, you know, yeah, well, I just like to use that as an inspiration for me, like, because it's not that we've never explored before. We have. We just in the past, like maybe a few hundred years, have gotten so used to living in like the comfort of knowing all of our reference points and creating everything from what we have seen a million times over and over again. And how boring is that? How many of you have actually just been really freaking bored? That's why things don't work for you, because you're so bored. So what if you also started asking for what else is possible for me beyond any known reality? And allow yourself to receive the way that the future and this new reality and this new track, this earth and our bodies are communicating with us. And another like tip that I have for these extremely interesting weird times is to have fun. I know it's like when you're having all this like weird stuff going on, it's uncomfortable, and somebody tells you like have fun, you're like, I don't know how to have fun right now. But what I did the other day when I was in this whole like what the heck, I actually just like started asking for fun things to show up and really started like actively looking what would make me laugh. So what I did that day on that particular moment was that I actually like looked up all these kind of funny videos in YouTube, things that made me laugh, all these like jokes and funny cat videos, and anything that would make me laugh. And also just know that what makes you laugh might not make anybody else laugh. So instead of trying to share it, what if you just enjoyed it for you? Make yourself laugh as much as you can. Ask for that. Ask to have something that makes you laugh, something that makes you light, something that allows you to have fun and enjoy while you're heading to a totally new reality and totally different direction. So that's my little tips for how to have more ease in these wild and weird and wonderful times. And yeah, what else is possible now? And also inviting you tomorrow, so Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Central European Time, 7 p.m. from Finland and Estonia and that time zone. I have a Symphony of Possibilities taster. I call it a taster, but it might not be so much of a taster. But anyways, you are invited to that. I hope to see you there. And it's really one way to tap into energies and allow yourself to be the energetic being instead of the cognitive thinking being of this reality. It allows you to have that connection and communing with energy so that you can create your life from what it really is. So that's it for now, and thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and thank you for being on this adventure. And onwards we go. Bye-bye. Oh, have a wonderful week. It's Monday. I just remember it's Monday, so enjoy this week more than you're supposed to.